kunja vihari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Gopi jana vallabha giribharadhari. Gopi jana vallabha giribharadhari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Yasodanandana Raja Janardhan. Yasodanandana Raja Janardhan. Yamuna tira vanachari. Yamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Yasodanandana Raja Janardhan. Yasodanandana Raja Janardhan. Yasodanandana Braja Janardhan. Yamuna tira vanachari. Yamuna tira vanachari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava kunja vihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yasodhanandana Praja Janardhana. Yasodhanandana Praja Janardhana. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Yamuna Tiravana Chari. Jaya Rādhā Madhava Rādhā Madhava Shri Rādhe. Jai Rādhā Madana Mohan Rādhā Madana Mohan Sri Rādhe. Jaya Rādhā Govinda Rādhā Govinda Sri Rādhe. Jaya Rādhā Gopinata Rādhā Gopinata Shri Rādhe. Jai Rādhā Shama Sundar Rādhā Shama Sundar Shri Rādhe. Jaya Lalita Visakha Lalita Visakha Lalita Visakha Jaya Lalita Visakha. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Gaura Haribo. Jai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Gopal Krishna Goswami Itanamini Prabhupadasya Sahityamya Pakasha Vitiryacha Pracharan Kirvanshadu Bhagat Pada Iti Namo Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesa Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanangana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurung Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Rādhā Kṛṣṇa Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dīna Bandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Rādhā Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindubhya evacha Patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivash Adi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna. This morning we'll be reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita, translation and purport by our founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada K. Adi Lila, the confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance, chapter 4 and text 35. Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya Hare Krishna, somebody else.
Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya.
Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya.
Kartavya avaśya
Kartavya avaśya
anyathā pratyavāya.
anyathā pratyavāya. Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se iha kaya. kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya. Vidhi-liṅ kriyā vidhi-liṅ se ihokāya. Kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya. Mataji's. Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se ihokāya. Avaśya anyathā pratyavāya. Mataji's. Go ahead. Bhavet kriyā vidhi-liṅ se ihokāya. Kartavya avaśya anyathā pratyavāya. Word for word meaning? Bhavet. Bhavet. There is no English translation for that one. Kriyā. The verb. Vidhi-liṅ, an injunction of the imperative mood. Say, that. Iha, here. Kaya, says. Kartavya, to be done. Avaśya, certainly. This. Anyathā, otherwise. Pratyavāya, detriment. Translation. Here the use of the verb bhavet, which is in the imperative mood, tells us that this certainly must be done. Noncompliance would be abandonment of duty. Everybody please repeat after me. Here the use of the verb bhavet, which is in the imperative mood, tells us that this certainly must be done. Noncompliance would be abandonment of duty. Purport. This imperative is applicable to pure devotees. Neophytes will be able to understand these affairs only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the expert guidance of the spiritual master. Then they too will be competent to hear of the love affairs of Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa. So previously, from the verses before this one being discussed today, the different relationships of the Supreme Lord towards His devotees were discussed. And for those whose heart has been cleansed from hearing all of those different pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and the word was used here as imperative to perform devotional service. Having heard such pastimes, one should engage in service to Him. That means the Lord Krishna. It's like here in Vrindavan, many kathas, Hari kathas, or discussions of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord has been discussed or heard, but how many are really getting the impetus or the enthusiasm to do service for the Supreme Lord. For them, it is like sense enjoyment only. While hearing, they are enjoying. But then after that, they don't do anything else. And they will continue to hear. So that is good, but without the conclusion that is meant to be done, which is to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then they're missing the point. That's why it is says imperative, especially for the pure devotees. Pure devotees means they're always engaged in loving devotional service towards the Supreme Lord without any ulterior motives, without any desire for one's sense enjoyment. So that is pure bhakti. However, Prabhupada says that for the Neophytes, remember what Prabhupada says? Neophytes will be able to understand these affairs only after being elevated by regulated devotional service under the expert guidance of the spiritual master. Then they too will be competent to hear of the love affairs of Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa. Yes, the subject matter between Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa, the loving affairs of these personalities, the Supreme Personality of Godhead and His eternal consort, Srimati Radharani, cannot be penetrated, cannot be entered without following the due regulated devotional practice. You cannot say that I want to enter into the pastimes without being qualified and not deserving. First and foremost, Prabhupada says here, it has to be done under the guidance of the expert spiritual master, a pure devotee. Now, Srila Prabhupada, in the previous chapters, also in the first chapter specifically, mentions different kinds of spiritual masters. Diksha Guru, Shiksha Gurus. And if one would like to hear the pastimes of the Lord without proper guidance of the authorities, Prabhupada used the word authorities. Authorities means pure devotees, advanced devotees. And that includes the initiating spiritual master, instructing spiritual masters, and also others who are well-versed in the subject matter. Otherwise, one cannot enter. One can be in Vrindavan, but at the same time, not be in Vrindavan. To come to Vrindavan, even in Bhoma Vrindavan, one needs the permission, blessings from advanced devotees, and especially from the spiritual master. If one comes here and try to just barge themselves, it's not possible. We have many pilgrims who comes here out of curiosity or they want to become purified. Still, they need proper guidance. They can get some purification at the same time. Coming here, there's never a loss. But if they're not able to understand fully the reason why we are here in Vrindavan, then they're missing the point. They're not be able to understand the love affairs of Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa. Even hearing, because one needs to be qualified. And first and foremost is to take guidance from a bona fide spiritual master. As long as one is in material conditioned life, strict discipline is required in the matter of moral and immoral activities. Strict discipline. Prabhupada used the word strict discipline. This can only be done by the spiritual master to discipline the disciple. To see and have darshan of Krishna, one must see the darshan of the spiritual master. One must understand who is Guru. The real feature of the spiritual master. If the disciple has been strictly disciplined, the disciple should accept and gladly will say, I deserve this. If the spiritual master chastise and become angry, not of envy, not out of false ego, but genuine, because chastisement means love. And the spiritual master will correct the disciple for his own benefit. So the disciple should gladly accept whatever strict discipline that the spiritual master may inflict to the disciple. In that way, he will see the real face of the spiritual master. And by seeing the real face of the spiritual master, he'll be able to see and have darshan of Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa. Without that, it is not possible. So everyone would like to say, oh yes, I would like to see Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa. But without the chastisement and have this strict discipline from the spiritual master, it is not possible. Does it make sense? Yes or no? The absolute world is transcendental and free from such distinctions because their inebriety is not possible. But in this material world, a sexual appetite necessitates distinction between moral and immoral conduct. There are no sexual activities in the spiritual world. The transactions between lover and beloved in the spiritual world are pure transcendental love and unadulterated bliss. So in the spiritual world, the origin, the first canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam mentions Adiras. The attraction between man and woman in the spiritual world is there, but there is no physical contact as what we have here in the material world called sex. The attraction is there. Even the gopis' attraction towards the Supreme Lord is considered to be lust. But that lust doesn't have anything to do with the mundane lust. I scratch your back, you scratch my back. The love between the gopis and the Supreme Lord is purely transcendental. They don't want anything in return. All they want to do is to serve the Supreme Lord wholeheartedly. Even they will considering to be breaking moral laws. They don't care about that. Some of them are even married and they will leave behind their children, their husbands, and they will go as soon as Lord Krishna will play his flute in the middle of the night. Now, a reasonable, a strict woman will not even go out at night. This is the Vedic culture. Unlike today, it's the opposite. The longer they stay out at night, the better. No. Vedic culture, they don't even see the face of the woman. They will cover their faces. So, this sex attraction is there in the spiritual world, but there is no real sex. In the material world, it is the perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Men and women, they will be attracted to each other, then they will get married, and they will have children. They will be surrounded by their relatives, friends, and loved ones. But it is not genuine. It is not real. Prabhupada compared, or the Chaitanya Charitamrita compared lust into iron and love into gold. Both are made of metal, but the other doesn't have any value. And because of this attraction between men and women, it prolongs their stay in the material world. Srimad Bhagavatam says that this is the strongest bondage between family members that keeps us in the material world, birth after birth. Bhagavatam says that ultimately we should become detached, and the husband should somehow gradually decrease the attachment towards the wife. Similarly, the wife also should gradually decrease the attachment towards the husband, and the husband and wife should also decrease the attachment towards the children. How is this going to happen? This doesn't happen automatically. Not possible. Not possible at all. For those of you who are grihastas, I'm sure you have this experience. For the brahmacharis and sannyasis, no, we don't have this experience. We're just repeating what the Bhagavatam says. It's very heavy, but we have to accept. We have to accept what the Sastra and Guru and the Sadhu says. It'll be for our eternal benefit. But how to do this unless Krishna is the center of one's life? If Krishna is not the center of one's life and main purpose is sense enjoyment, then one will take birth again and again in this material world. The purpose of human form of life is to get out of this material world, to go back home, back to Godhead, to attain that loving relationship again with the Supreme Lord in the spiritual world, either in the Vaikuntha planets, where awe and reverence most prominent, or in Goloka Vrindavan, divided into Gokul, there's Go, yes, Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. Dwarka is also present in the spiritual world, where Krishna has 16,108 wives, or queens, but the loving affairs between Krishna and the queens is not, again, mundane. There is no material tinge. Krishna is very detached. So how we can follow in the footsteps of Lord Krishna to be detached with our family is that we have to hear again and again. That's why it says here, imperative. Hear again and again the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time, perform bhakti. Ananya bhakti. Without any self-motivation, without self-interest, only for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. One who has not been attracted by the transcendental beauty of rasa will certainly be dragged down into material attraction, thus to act in material contamination and progress to the darkest region of hellish life. So Prabhupada used the word beauty, the transcendental beauty of rasa. Rasa vaisa. Krishna is the embodiment of all rasas. Krishna is the only one who has relationship with everyone. No other personality has relationship with everyone except Krishna. We may have relationship with our family, again, with the circle, friends, loved ones, but up to how much? Or if one has that responsibility to rule a kingdom, rule a country, then he has responsibility for all the subjects or the citizens of that country. But he is not the main boss. Actually, he's a servant. We went to one program during our travels in the Philippines, and we went to a mayor of a town or a city. And I was surprised to see, because usually when you go to a big man, he will have some plaque. Who is he and what is his designation? So when we enter his office, it says there, his name, it says public servant. Public servant. I was like, wow, this person really knows what he's doing. And he's only 28 years old. Very young. So Krishna is like this. Actually, we are trying to serve Krishna, but Krishna also trying to serve us. That is the reciprocation. The serving of Krishna towards his devotees is to please them. That is the reciprocation. He just wants to please his devotees by fulfilling their desires accordingly. So each and every one of us has his own desire. Radha Sakha's desire is different than mine. Dinabandhu Prabhu's desire is different than Dharmatma Prabhu. In the material platform, in the spiritual platform, our desire should be only one: to serve and please Krishna, or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master. And by doing so, Krishna says, I don't know how I can reciprocate, how I can repay you. He's admitting it himself. He's God. But he doesn't know how to return back the service. of the gopis. But then he says, I cannot repay you, but you just continue what you're doing. You just continue what you're doing. This is actually the result of doing bhakti. Continuously doing bhakti. And this comes again from Krishna. So we don't have anything else. We should only have one desire, spiritual desire, to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Materially, all of us in the conditioned state, not in the purified stage yet, we all have different material desires wanted to be fulfilled. But ultimately, if we continuously serve the Lord, even with material desires, that will become purified. This is the potency of bhakti. So one should not give up. Says, Maharaj, I've been chanting for 20 years. So much anyathā is still there. How can I get rid of this? How is it possible? Am I going to carry this till the end of my life? Well, that may be possible. But if you stop chanting, if you stop coming for darshan, if you stop coming for Mangalarti, Panchaguru mentions many times about sadhana, the importance of sadhana. We cannot overemphasize this. Even great personalities, advanced devotees, they follow. Externally, they follow. But inside, they're very, very elevated. They think of Krishna all the time. Did Prabhupada stop chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? No. Did he stop coming for darshan of the Lord? No. So who am I to say that, oh, I'm so elevated now, I don't have to come to all of these regulative principles. It's very emphasized here by Srila Prabhupada. Otherwise, one will make progress to the darkest region of hellish life. So rasa, again. But by the understanding the conjugal love of Rādhā and Kṛṣṇa, one is freed from the grip of attraction to material, so-called love between man and woman. Prabhupada says that if one wants to get rid of lust, then he should read that part where the gopis dancing with Lord Krishna. Under, again, the guidance of an able, pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. Srila Prabhupada, Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna book. Yes, the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada, well, he thought that he will not be able to finish it because that is his main work. So he gave us immediately the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But then again, every day, I've been to many temples, and many of the temples also are reading the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Philippines, Mauritius, I'm sure in Russia also. But if we don't have this guidance from Srila Prabhupada, we will misinterpret. We will be misguided. We'll not be able to enter. We'll not be able to understand. And instead of cleansing our hearts, we'll become more lusty. Lust is our greatest enemy. It is the all-devouring enemy of the living entity. However, when we read from the right source and hear from the right source, then hearts becomes cleansed. The result will be seen by performing more and more bhakti, and all of the anyathas will be uprooted. Similarly, One who understands the pure parental love of Nanda and Yasoda for Krishna will be saved from being dragged into material parental affection. So there you go. Grihastas, please read this to your children. The loving pastimes of Nanda Maharaj, Yasoda Mai towards Lord Krishna. The result, again, they'll be able to understand, especially the children. Hare Krishna. In the beginning, they're good, and hopefully they'll be good also till the end. But that is not the case. If they're trained up nicely, they'll grow up nicely. If you force them, they'll rebel. So it has to be done very delicately, very, very skillfully, so that they will take Krishna consciousness up till the end of their life. I know one devotee, he was telling me a story. You know, chant Hare Krishna, otherwise you don't get chapati. And the boy, he really likes chapati. That is like his favorite. So he was forced to chant. So when he grew up, he went to high school. You see, the magic age for the children is like 14 years old. That is like the deciding factor, whether they will take up Krishna consciousness continuously or something else will happen. So when he gets to college, high school is still, he has to chant. Okay, one round, one chapati. But then when he went to college, that's another age. When one goes to college, it's like it's free now. No more family. In a sense, he's a little independent, especially if he goes to a different country to study. He became an atheist. He can make his own chapati now. Huh? There's no more control. No, that's not. It is very difficult to raise children to be Krishna conscious. That's why he says in the Bhagavatam, one should not be a king, one should not be a guru, one should not be a teacher, one should not be a parent if he's not sure that he's able to liberate his subjects. Very, very big responsibility. So, by hearing the pure parental love of Nanda and Yasoda for Krishna, will be saved from being dragged into material parental affection. If one accepts Krishna as a supreme friend, the attraction of material friendship will be finished for him, and he will not be dismayed by the so-called friendship with mundane wranglers. Again, real friend means a friend in need. A friend who is in need is a friend indeed, right? Usually the mundane friendship is, as long as you have something for me, you are my friend. And if you don't have any more something for me, I will look for another one. No, Krishna is our eternal friend. He's our ever well-wisher. It's like Prabhupada will sign the letters, your ever well-wisher. A friend can tell you if you're wrong or if you're right, and the other friend will accept again. Yes. He can slap your face sideways, both sides, and he'll say, thank you very much. You're waking me up. You're giving me solace. You're giving me assurance. You're putting me in the same line, the right direction, the right line. You're my real friend. It's like Arjuna. He was ready to be corrected after hearing from Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. Before I sit the same place like you, same level. We eat together. It's like, side by side. That is friendship, really. But then when Arjuna understood that Krishna is God, is the Supreme Lord, then he accepted whatever he will say in the end. Yes, he's ready to fight. So that is real friendship. Krishna as a supreme friend. He's ready to do anything and everything for all of us, but we're not ready to accept. We're very stubborn. We don't want to give up our minute independence. But ultimately, we have to depend completely unto the Supreme Lord as our genuine friend. If he is attracted by servitorship to Krishna, he will no longer have to serve the material body in the degraded status of material existence with the false hope of becoming master in the future. Similarly, one who sees the greatness of Krishna in neutrality will certainly never again seek the so-called relief of impersonalist or voidist philosophy. So this is neutrality, Santarash. Those inhabitants of Vrindavan who are in this category, like the cows, the plants, the birds, the trees, the animals, they are in Santarash, neutrality. And still they're ready always to serve the Supreme Lord. Unlike this so-called impersonalist, the Sunyavadis, Mayavadis, the voidists, those who just wanted to steer or cultivate word jugglery from the Vedas. It says the Vedas is full of flowery language for the benefit of those who are in the mode of ignorance, in the mode of passion, and in the mode of goodness. As Prabhupada says, there is no real good in this world because everything is mixed with passion and ignorance. And therefore, these personalities, they just want to merge or become one with the Supreme Lord. If one is not attracted by the transcendental nature of Krishna, one is sure to be attracted to material enjoyment, thus to become implicated in the clinging network of virtuous and sinful activities, and to continue material existence by transmigrating from one material body to another. So, we cannot be in between. Either we are attracted to Maya or attracted to Krishna. It's better to be attracted to Krishna even though we are still in Maya. Or be attracted to Maya and no attraction to Krishna. If you're attracted to Maya completely, that means no attraction to Krishna. So it's better to be attracted to Krishna even with material desires to fulfill. Otherwise, one will become implicated again and again and continuously be in the grips of Maya, material existence, transmigrating from one body to another in the 8,400,000 species of life. Only in Krishna consciousness can one achieve the highest perfection of life. So even the voidists, the karmists, the jnanis, they will not attain perfection of human form of life. Only in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. We stop here. Any questions or comments? Yes, Shriram Pandit Prabhu.
He beat me to it.
By 1 second.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thanks for this wonderful class. So Maharaj, my question is, why one has to put so much efforts in understanding the transcendental pastimes or love between Radha and Krishna? Because if you see the routine, what Prabhupada has given us, coming right from Mangalarati till the Bhagavatam, and just be with the deities and try to see the beauty of the deities, try to associate with devotees in the bhajan, kirtan. So why one has to really understand? Because without understanding certain things in the life, you don't have to go deep, because our mind is so impure that we may just fall down. So just be with the association of devotees, enjoy this whatever Prabhupada has given the program.
Sure.
Still, one has a high chance of going back to Godhead. So why so much stress has been put to understand the transcendental pastimes of Radha and Krishna?
Because by hearing these transcendental pastimes between the Lord and His devotees, it's an impetus for us to follow in one of the inhabitants of Vrindavan, how they serve Krishna. See, when we hear how Nanda Maharaj and Yasoda Mai served Lord Krishna as a son, maybe it will invoke or it will open up, if that is your relationship with Krishna, or one of the sakas, friends of Lord Krishna, if that is your relationship, when you hear, oh, this is how they serve Krishna? Okay, I'll become more serious in my sadhana bhakti. I will try to hear more of these pastimes. And then one day, I will serve Krishna, following in the footsteps of one of the friends of Lord Krishna. If you don't hear, how can you serve Lord Krishna? We can do this. This is regulative principles, what we do. But this is just the beginning. There is Raganuga Bhakti. In sadhana bhakti, Vaidhi is there, and there's Raganuga, spontaneous. And then after that, you go to Bhava Bhakti. And then after that, Prema Bhakti. So how to attain Prema Bhakti if you don't go and do this? We can always remain in here, in this platform of sadhana. But then how are we going to be able to reach that platform where we will be serving Lord Krishna in this spiritual world if we don't hear the pastimes of the Lord with His devotees? It's not possible. This is like the bare minimum, what we're doing. And if we cannot do this bare minimum, even if you hear the pastimes of the Lord, you will not reach to be with Krishna in the spiritual world. Isn't it?
But there are high chances of gliding down. That's what my question is.
What?
Because if your consciousness is not that pure and you try, because if you see, most of the people, they jump to the Canto 10 because they are so interested in hearing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna, but their mind is still polluted. They don't understand the basics. So there are chances that they may glide down into the hellish planet. So that's what my question is. Is it like, let's say I have not developed that consciousness yet, but I'm just trying to understand Radha and Krishna. So I might just glide down. I may not even just elevate from there.
So we're doing it simultaneously here. We're doing it simultaneously. Then somehow, someday, I'll be really eligible to be with Krishna. Just hearing is not enough. There are two ways here. You just want to hear, but then don't do anything else. Don't even serve. You think you'll be able to go back home, back to Godhead by doing that? No. This has been chalked out by the previous acharyas, by Srila Prabhupada. This is like a formula for us. We don't have to do any service, okay? Starting today, we'll just hear Bhagavatam. That is service, but you will not relish it. Why not? Because you don't do the practical. First, your heart must be cleansed. First, but hearing Bhagavatam, that is good. Or you may say, oh, I don't have to chant my rounds, I just hear. But that is not the prescribed method. We have to follow the prescribed method. Others, especially in Vrindavan, yes, this is what they do. They hear all the time. Early in the morning, they'll wake up, try to hear the katha. But then after that, what do they do back home? What is their everyday activities? So it's like complementary. You hear and you do sadhana bhakti. You more, confirmed. So the more you do sadhana bhakti, the more you will relish these pastimes. And the more you relish these pastimes, the more you'll become inspired to do sadhana bhakti. Then ultimately, you'll become free from material contamination. It is a science. Rupa Goswami says this is a science. From Shraddha to Prema. We don't reach Prema immediately just by hearing. No. We have to increase our faith every day. And we increase our faith every day, again, by performing this practice. Is that okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Maharaj.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Yes. One last question. Nobody.
We're all getting hungry. Come on.
Come on, quick.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, for the nice class. Sorry, Maharaji. Yeah.
Prabhu is the highest. Prabhu is the highest.
No, I must be very hungry. Okay. So Maharaji, the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, and the vanaprasthas usually do not walk.
Do not walk?
Yeah.
What
Do not walk to maintain
or work.
Do not walk to maintain themselves.
Yeah.
Generally, a householder, generally Krishna provides the sannyasis, brahmacharis, and the vanaprasthas through the householders.
Okay.
So the householder may not be Krishna conscious or may be Krishna conscious. Actually, he has become a householder mainly out of sense gratification. So what should be our attitude? What should be the attitude of a brahmachari, of a sannyasi, of a vanaprastha to our householder?
With saying always thank you. With a smile. Thank you very much. Because whenever they give, whenever they give, even if they have material desires, they become purified. If you use what they gave for Krishna's service. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaji.
Srila Prabhupada Ki. Hare Krishna.